The Big Three, Q, and Our Medical Professionals. August 9, 2020 by Anna von Reitz. There are a small number of principal corporations at the heart of the rot in the Western world. Three of the most noxious are CAI Private Equity Group, SERCO, and the BBC, which have been in charge of propaganda and military payrolls and military investment strategies in Britain ever since the end of World War II. SERCO is the renamed and repurposed British branch of RCA. Remember RCA? The early American communications and entertainment giant? The RCA logo with the cute Fox Terrier sitting next to an old-style phonograph with a trumpet-ear speaker? Yeah, SERCO is what grew like a cancer out of RCA in Britain after the war. It continues to cut the checks for the US military, and thereby continues to control military operations around the globe. No checkie, no workie. One must wonder, mustn't one? Why is a British-controlled formerly American communications commercial corporation in charge of issuing checks to our military personnel? Whack job is the word that comes to my mind. Others can look nervous and shuffle their feet and glance away. We can thank George Herbert Walker Bush, who was knighted for this and other nefarious deals cut, for us, and Colin Powell, another piece of rat shit that was knighted for his treachery and collusion against the best interests of this country and its people. Covering for these and many, many other outrages is the BBC, the world's single largest purveyor of self-interested propaganda. They have 550 million listeners and viewers. All you guys have to do is up my readership 10 times and we will have the same coverage. Get cracking, everyone reading this needs to recruit 10 more people. Lol. At least we would be an honest news service outside the grasp of corporate self-interest, a source such as virtually non-existent now. Less radical, and less informed than grandma, but still a lot better than the mainstream media. I will put in a plug for the Epoch Times, the best little newspaper in America, and also the fastest growing subscribership. Anyway, what SERCO and CAI, Inc. do, the BBC covers up. This has been the quid pro quo since the end of World War II. So now we have a small glimpse into why SERCO is important and why the BBC engages in propaganda. It's time to look at CAI Private Equity Group, and no, it's not a mistake that CAI uses the same three letters as CIA, because most of the members of this particular private equity group are high-ranking military brass and agency personnel. This is the banking-side fraud nexus attached to the military, the one that the Division of Fiscal Services and Naval Accounting has such a hard time identifying and regulating, because it's British, not American. Couldn't see that one coming, could you? Oh, my goodness, said Donald Rumsfeld, on September 11, 2001, I seem to have misplaced, well, a little over $6 trillion. Must have skipped my mind, maybe it's in the cookie jar, or being traded on private trading platforms to generate obscene amounts of credit benefiting the members of CAI Private Equity Group. Quote. And at almost the same exact time, the Navy auditors at the Pentagon who were investigating this mysterious disappearance of $6 trillion from the DoD budget were hit by a cruise missile. Meantime, Q, a special detachment of the Queen's Secret Service that was responsible for John F. Kennedy's safety and which racked up an epic fail, was still on track in the background, still smarting from that loss, and still wondering who betrayed them and the president. Because it had to be an inside job. Let's make it concise. In a world where it doesn't bear well to take things personally, it got personal. It's been personal ever since. There are Major League white hats in for the kill who have been waiting for the payback since 1963, and they don't have long to wait. Finally, you may have noticed the war of opinions that has attached like an ugly nose to the WHO pandemic. Write your angry letters to Antonio Guterres and the UN Security Council. With one group of doctors mincing around like little Hitlers saying things that make no sense, and another group of doctors, outraged, taking to the airwaves in protest because, nothing that the other group says makes sense. The difference in opinions has nothing to do with health, and if you assume that the argument is about health, it doesn't make sense. That's why the honest doctors are saying, what the? And the dishonest doctors bent on making money and gaining coercive control, are issuing mandates, without the benefit of any elected office or credible public position at all. You do all know by now that Fauci and the CDC and NIH are all commercial corporations in the business of manufacturing vaccines. And that they bear no responsibility for what goes into those vaccines? And that they have no accountability for the results? On this and numerous other points, Mr. Trump needs to be educated. We have good doctors and we have bad doctors, but all doctors who have accepted licenses are part of a coercive foreign guild system, and have been conscripted as uniformed officers, under Federal Code Title 37. It's time to bust the AMA and end the illegal conscription and licensing of our private physicians. Links to Anna's articles and resources can be found in the video description box. Thank you for subscribing, liking and sharing.